Hello.
Hello.
Hello, you alright?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Okay, I can hear an echo.
Oh, that's why.
Stream open.
I've had your stream open since you were streaming last time.
Alright, okay. Right. Usual stuff. You're a Platinum Zerg? I
Yes.
hope I'm right. Yeah, cool. And I've coached you before.
Correct.
Yeah, and what did I set you 3 goals, I believe. Can you remember what they were? Or
Um, yeah, I think I have it in the notepad. Let me pull it up. Um, the 3 goals was if my minerals get to 1,000, build a macro hatch.
Yep,
If possible, take a third base by 11 minutes,
yep.
and try to have 2 bases fully saturated by 8 minutes.
Yeah, okay. And how have you been keeping up with that?
I've been doing good on the last 2 goals. The first goal, keep the minerals, like whenever I get 1,000, build a macro hatch.
Yeah.
I sometimes forget to do it.
Okay, but your minerals are generally lower than they were before.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Right then, we'll jump into the TVZ on Tal'Darim. Is that okay?
Yeah, one second, let me go to my replays.
Sure.
I should have it number 1.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. So just quickly run through these and just make sure, if there's any other massive flaws or anything, then we can just fix them straight away. So.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Yep.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and hit play.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so Tal'Darim, fairly big map versus Terran. I guess you open a 15 hatch.
Yes.
Cool.
Actually, I opened a 16 hatch.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
I noticed the timing's kind of nice because I can send the 15th drone to the natural,
Mhm.
and I have enough to build 1 more drone.
Yeah.
And then by the time my drone gets to the natural, I can build a hatchery.
Yeah. Okay, that works fine.
So do 16 hatch and then 15 pool.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
On this particular game, I thought I was doing really, really well, but he just kind of swarms me with Marines and a few tanks, and I
Okay.
ended up losing. So hopefully I get some tips on maybe better things I can do, some different things.
Mhm. That's fine.
One thing that I forgot on this map, I just remember I usually scout one direction and then I'll send my drone to the other side of the map, which I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And I forgot, because I know in the small maps you cannot spawn in close positions.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I forgot this is a large map, so once I scout up here, I'm like, okay, he's not up there, it must be on the bottom side.
Yeah. I'd actually recommend scouting cross position on Tal'Darim, simply because proxy barracks and stuff are really, really common, and you'll kind of put them in the middle of the map. So I'd actually recommend cross scouting on Tal'Darim Alta. That's just something to bear in mind. It's not a necessity, but it's just one of those things that will help you just in case he proxy T-Rexes you or something like that.
Okay. Sorry to hear, I figured, okay, he's not up on the upper right now, I'm going to scout on the bottom right. But, so...
So you scout him last, unfortunately.
What was it?
You're going to scout him last, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're going to be greeted with a Marine, I guess. And he's lucky enough to scout you first. Okay, so got an SCV. You could move your Overlord just so you can see the back of your minerals, in case he opens Reaper, because that's where they'll put the bunker, right there, just behind your natural minerals. So I'd use the Overlord to kind of scout there as well, just in case.
Okay.
So you're going to scout 2 Marines coming out, so he's going 1 Rax expand. That's fair enough.
And then since you have the wall in there, my drone ran off in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere, which actually saved him.
That's always nice. So you see a Marine heading towards your base. You caught the SCV in the corner of yours. That's good.
Yeah. I saw him hide back there. I knew that he was
Yeah, just waiting.
just waiting, so I figured I had time to not do anything and just build
Yeah.
the Zerglings whenever I could.
Try to get the timing where you get both queens at the exact same time. Just for like the spawn lava and thing, and your money's getting incredibly high really early on. That shouldn't be happening. What are you forgetting? You're forgetting either spine crawlers or this. You're forgetting overlords, so you can't spawn any drones. That's why your money's getting like really really high. You've got to try to keep your money as low as possible. Just because early game, like 400 minerals is a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, 400 minerals is like 16 Zerglings, 8 sets of Zerglings, which could literally win or lose you a game.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the one thing I've been noticing. I've been keeping my money lower than I normally have, but then I'll have issues where I'll get supply blocked. So it's one thing I need to look after.
Okay.
Just make sure I'm not getting supply blocked.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any reason you keep drones on gas, or?
Just kind of build up some gas, just because I've been getting a lot of minerals, so I know I don't need to really put them back on the mineral line.
Right.
And then
Okay, it's
when
just
I go around,
yeah, if you're mining gas, like do something with it. Like gas is really, really valuable. So like if you carry on mining gas, like go to layer a bit earlier, or save up for mutalisks or something. Just don't let it sit there if you're keeping gas.
yeah, I do save up for Mutalisks. I get around 40 to 44 drones, and then I'll get all of my gas geysers, and then usually get a layer, and then I'll have a nice amount for Mutalisk whenever they spawn. I guess I could get the
Yeah.
the layer a little bit earlier. I
Yeah.
guess I was kind of also saving it because I was getting a Baneling nest, and I wanted to
Okay.
make some defensive Banelings.
Sure. Can you pause the game for a second?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. There's a couple of things here that is like really, really hurting your play. One is the fact that you have no map vision at all. Like absolutely zero. He could literally be on your ramp right now and you wouldn't know about it. Okay?
Okay.
That's really bad for a start. So always keep watchtowers. Like he's just moved his marine from this watchtower, but he's had control of it the entire game. So you need to just like keep 3 or 4 Zerglings on this watchtower at all times.
Okay.
Just so you can see when he's moving out. Because if he moves out with marine tanks and he's at your door before you've realised, you're dead. Like simple as that, really. You're dead.
Okay.
Secondly, don't morph blind Banelings unless you know for sure he's moving out. Because Banelings cost a lot of money. Like you don't actually realise how much they cost. But technically they're 25 minerals for the Ling, and then another 50 minerals and 25 gas? I can't actually remember how much a Baneling costs. But yeah, they're very expensive units in terms of just having them sitting around. So, that coupled with keeping control of the Watchtower, you've got enough time, if you see him in the Watchtower vision, to morph Banelings. So, don't bother morphing blind Banelings unless you, really feel unsafe or, you know he's pushing out with something.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the main reason I morphed them was because I knew he had a few Marines out here, and I didn't really have enough Zerglings to take them on, and I decided to build more drones rather than take care of them.
Okay. I mean, that's okay, but, you'd feel a lot more safer if you had this watchtower, and that's,
Right.
That's an extra 125 gas you could have saved yourself, basically.
Right.
And that could be an extra meter or layer a little bit faster or, all that nice stuff rather than 5 Banelings that are probably going to do nothing.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll start the game again in 3, 2, 1, go. So basically he's going to scout you with this Marine. No, he's going to scout, check if you've got third. Okay. Again, another thing I'd recommend is keeping a Ling behind like his third, like so you can see when a third goes down, because that like really impacts what you should do in a game.
Okay.
So just generally just put Lings everywhere. Like they're 25 minerals. Just put them everywhere you can. Like every possible path he's going to go down, like put them somewhere. Because then you just see everything that's going on, and the game suddenly becomes a lot easier. So you attack with Lings and Banes. Again, like slow Banelings aren't really going to kill Marines unless you get like a really good surround. Or he's just terrible. Basically that shouldn't have worked, but it did, so never mind. But again, your minerals are like in the thousands now as well. So you should be chucking down a Spire.
Yeah, make a Spire soon. I do make a macro hatch soonish.
Again, like he's pushing out with like, I know it's only 8 Marines, but you have no idea it's coming. You know, you need to keep control of this watchtower just to see when he's pushing out. Because say like you see this now, you've seen this, right? He's pushing out with 8 Marines. You just make 3 or 4 Banelings and some Lings and you're perfectly safe. But if these 8 Marines turn up at your door and you've got nothing, you die. Or you lose quite a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so just bear that in mind to keep control of these watchtowers. Your money's starting to get a bit low again, so that's okay.
Yeah, I built my macro hatch, and I'm going to get my third.
Yep, okay. Macro hatch can be a little bit earlier, like around 8 or 9 minutes, just to help you like fend off kind of any sort of push that usually happens about now, like 10 or 11 minutes. He's kind of doing like a Marine King, like Kaz kind of build at the moment, like 3 command centers and lots of Marines. So, you know, Ling Bane is absolutely fine against that for a while. You also need to be chucking down Evo chambers a lot earlier. Like, I want to see upgrades like way earlier than this.
Okay. And that's the other thing I need to work on is getting upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it doesn't click for me.
Yeah. Okay.
So right there, I scouted with my overseer, and I saw that he just finished his orbital command, so he's most likely going to be taking that third soon.
Yeah, he'd actually had that orbital command for about 3 minutes, and he was dropping mules out of it. That's another reason like why you need to kind of keep an eye on what he's doing at all times. So again, like you have no idea this push is coming.
Well, I see it with my overlord up there. I see the Marines kind of slid the behind.
Yeah, okay. But again, like you need to keep control of this watchtower just in case. So you see a ton of Marines. You should start morphing Banelings as soon as you see a ton of Marines. Yada yada yada. Still going. Okay, here come the Banelings. Good. You should. Yeah. Okay, that's all right.
And then when I realize he's going like a big, heavy bio army, I do get the Baneling speed.
Okay. What you want to do is you want to send your Lings in first, so the AI targets Lings rather than Banelings, because every Baneling he kills is like a group of Marines. I mean, that was way enough Banelings to kill everything he had there. Like, more than enough. Don't ever engage Marines with Mutalisks either. Don't ever engage Mutas.
I have no idea what I was thinking here.
Yeah, they're very expensive. They're very fragile, unfortunately. And that's not a good combination. So you got more than enough here, but you've lost all your Mutas, all your Banelings, and your third base as well. So you're like really, really far behind at this point. And now he's just going to pick up and drop your main, which is really, really annoying. You close it down, that's fine. Okay. But unfortunately you did like lose, I think, all but one of your Mutas.
Yeah.
All your Banes. He has a third base, whereas you don't. I know he's like heavily undersaturated. But still, he has a third base and you don't. And you just keep on pressuring with Marines for some reason, like he has no reason to. He's done a ton of damage, you can just pull back, but hey ho. So yeah. Okay. So meterless out again. Again, this meter flock could be in its like 20s by now, like 20, 25 meters, which are a lot more effective than 8 meters. Like meter effectiveness gets like so good when they're in high numbers. Like you've seen it versus Protoss, where they just get like 50 meters and nothing can beat it, basically. So like you want to try and just think of meters as a unit that's only good in high numbers. So you need to save these meters like at all costs. Even if it means you lose a base, even if it means you lose all your lings and banelings, like don't engage with meters. Like, just save them. Use them to snipe tanks like you're doing now. Use them to snipe workers. Use them to snipe medevacs that are lying around, you know, but just don't lose them. Whatever you do, do not lose them.
Okay.
So that was a good ling flank. Unfortunately, he caught you in a choke.
Yeah. I was thinking I could easily take them on and then...
Yeah, it looks like you can, but you never can. Like, it doesn't matter how many lings you've got, like, you can't take Marines in a choke. It's ridiculous. Okay. Don't waste banelings like that either.
And then I think right here I saw that he had most of his armies there, so I figured I could go in and kill a bunch of workers. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had Sage Shanks left.
Again, like, if we just pause the game for a second, just while I kind of stress this point, Zerg army on its own is not good. Like, mass lings on its own is not good. Mass banelings on its own is very, very not good. Because banelings are expensive, they're fragile, and they only do damage if they hit. If they don't hit, they do 0 damage. So that's like a large investment for absolutely nothing. Like, literally, you've just wasted, I didn't count, but it looked about 20 banelings on a single siege tank. That's not a good trade in any scenario. Also, like, the meters against the Marines, you lost, like, probably about 10 or 12 meters against, like, a group of Marines. You probably traded 12 meters for, 4 or 5 Marines. And all these little trades are slowly mounting up. Like, as you can see, like, every time you trade badly, you're getting further and further behind. So just stress this point, like, keep your army together, unless, like, of course, you're doing, like, a little ling run by of, like, 20 lings in his third, or you go attack his, like, main or whatever. But the army works really well together, but not separately. Like, a Terran army could literally, like, mass Marines, and it's fine. A Terran army could probably mass siege tanks, unless you go, like, heavy meter or whatever, it's probably fine. But together, it's a lot stronger. A Zerg army needs to be together to work. The lings need to support the banelings. The banelings need to support the meters. The meters need to support the lings. It's that kind of like, it's a solid triangle. Basically, you see it with every single Zerg composition. You see Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor. If it was pure Broodlord, it dies. If it was pure Infestor, it dies. If it was pure Corruptor, it dies. Together, they are the strongest unit composition in the game. Same with Ling Bling Meter. If it's pure Bling, it dies. If it's pure Ling, it dies. If it's pure meter, it definitely dies because meters are terrible. But yeah, the units need to work together. Like, you can't just separate one the other, and that's why you're kind of like falling behind in these games, because you're wasting units. Like, you've been ahead on drones, basically like majority of the game. You're ahead on production as well. Even though he's got like a base over you, because he's just like not built any racks or anything, but beside the point. Like, you literally could have won this game like 3 or 4 times now, but you've been separating your units and fighting unfavorable battles for you. So just bear that in mind, that you just need to keep that army together, and you need to take good trades as well. Like, if you trade 10 lings for a couple of tanks or whatever, that's a massive trade. If you trade like, if he kills 2 of your meters as you kill like 4 of his medevacs, that's a good trade. You always want to be looking at stuff like that, rather than, running lings into a choke. Because, like, you might win that fight, but you've traded, I don't know, 30 lings for like 4 Marines or 5 Marines. It's just not worth it.
Okay.
like keep those units safe and keep them together, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Right, you ready to hit play?
Yeah.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, play. Like you'll slowly notice it like mount up. Like right now you've got like 7 Mutalisks where you could have like 30. You've got no Lings on the field at the moment. You could have like 100 Lings and 30 Banelings and basically just A move and win. It's as simple as that. Like if you had all those units you've wasted, right now you'd be at like 200 supply and you just A move and win, basically. So just bear that in mind that, the armies need to work together. They need to stay together. So again, like you don't have this Xel'Naga Watchtower. You're aware of his units, but that's only because your mutas are in place. Like that could have been so much worse. Like he could literally be at your third right now, and you wouldn't know. So just keep that Watchtower. Like always send a couple of Lings out to that Watchtower, just to make sure you've always took it.
Okay.
Cool. So Marines coming in. Just go and check your fourth. Pretty standard. So again, like just wait. Like you're losing all your Mutalisks yet again. Like just wait. Just wait for these Banelings and then engage. Like look how well this goes for you now. Like you lost barely anything. Because Banelings are obviously the counter to Marines, but because you engaged early, you lost about 10 Mutalisks again. Like that's just you can't lose Mutalisks like that. You just can't. Okay, cool. So you save the third, which is really good. I'd drone it up as soon as possible. Like whenever you kill an attack, you can drone. Basically.
Okay.
So if you kill an attack, just get like 10 drones or something. Again, you lose like 3 or 4 Mutalisks there. You didn't need to. Queen comes in. Cool. I mean, right now you're on 37 drones while he has 62. He's actually 1,000 minerals ahead of you every single minute. So every minute, his army is going to be 1,000 minerals bigger than yours, basically.
Okay.
So, it's just those little trades that you've done. And not having the Xel'Naga Tower has just slowly put you more and more behind. And of course that just comes with practice, as I said, like you need to kind of know when to engage and where to engage, and you'll get a really good feel for that eventually. But for now, just like set yourself some rules, like never engage Marines with mutas, like ever. Always keep your army together, and that sort of thing. And if you defend and attack, drone. Like these are really, really basic, rigid rules. Like you don't really want to set yourself some rigid rules with Zerg, but it will help you until you get to a level where you can like really know better. Like again, you lose like 2 or 3 Mutalisks there for like 2 Marines and a Medevac. It's like not worth the trade at all. You've got Banelings on their own, which are just going to get killed like instantly. You need to keep these armies together, even if it means just like hotkeying your entire army to one hotkey just to make sure it's all moving together. Like do it, because the Zerg army is absolutely terrible if it's separated, but like all right if it's all together. Because right now, like just pause the game a second.
Okay.
Right, so he's moving in. He has 3 siege tanks in the battle, 4 in total, and well, that's not 82 Marines, but it's about 16, 24. It's about 40 Marines. You have 13 Mutalisks, 6 Banes, and 62 Lings. You can probably win this fight. Okay?
Okay.
But my point is, if you'd have took the decent trades, if you'd have, gained vision of this watchtower, and if you'd have kept mutas alive right now, you could have, 30 Mutalisks, 30 Banelings, and then maxed out on Lings. And you win this fight without losing anything, basically. And then you just roll into his base and kill him. It's as easy as that, basically. But because, like, he slowly whittled you down, like, he slowly took mutas off you, he slowly took Banelings off you, he's killed your third base, it just gets to a point where it's like, how can I win this? Like, he's at 177 supply to your 121, and he's, 1,300 minerals ahead of you every single minute of the game. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like, he's just basically slowly whittled you down until you've lost this game. But, yeah, we'll hit play again in 3, 2, 1, go. And then let's just see what happens. Again, like, you're engaging Mutalisks on their own. You've just traded... Okay, you got some good Banes there, but basically, if you didn't get those Banelings attacks, you just traded, like, 10 Mutas for a couple of Marines again. Like, it's just really not worth it. Okay. So just engage all at once. Like, instead of, like, flying your Mutas in to pick off a tank, just engage everywhere at once. So your Lings go in, and then your Mutas pick off the tank. Like, rather than sending your Mutas over. Because if they get killed for nothing, you lose the battle, basically. So just always remember that. Okay. So again, like, you're getting Mutas out. He's got a big Marine 4 army heading towards you.
He's expanding next to my base.
It's extremely cheeky, but never mind. Okay, so big Marine ball of death comes in and kills everything, as they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm hoping I can build a bunch of Zerglings, get some Banelings, and then kill them all, but that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just too much stuff. Again, like, people will look at this and say, like, oh, Banelings should counter Marines. Well, yeah, they should, but when they don't hit, because they have no Ling support, they don't counter. Like, Banelings don't counter Marines. Ling Baneling counters Marines, okay?
Okay.
So just always remember that you need support. Like, a Zerg army does not work by massing a unit. Like, don't listen to anyone that tells you, like, oh, mass Zerglings can win. Of course it can win, but it probably won't. Mass anything can win, but it probably won't.
All
So
right.
just bear that in mind to just keep your army, like, always together, and keep the watchtowers as well, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Right, we'll move into the second game. Which one would you like to look at now?
The ZVP on Cloud Kingdom, number 2.
ZVP Cloud Kingdom number 2. Cool.
Should be against Snowflake.
Yeah, what a wonderful magical name. Okay, ready when you are?
Yep.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, play. Cool. Right, so Cloud Kingdom's actually like a really weird map because it looks big, but it's actually not. And it has all these like horrible paths that Protoss can put pylons everywhere. Like, I really don't like this map on ZVP because obviously, there's so many, like, you've got to put overlords everywhere basically to stay safe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if it's this game or another game where the guy just went Mass Phoenix and just sniped every single overlord that I had everywhere.
Sounds about right, yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going for the 11 overpull build, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
I really like it against the Protoss.
Yeah. With the 11 overpull, you don't need to scout that early, especially on Cloud Kingdom because you know where he is. So just use that drone to gain that extra, 20 minerals that will get you pull there just that little bit earlier. So just bear that in mind, like, especially on Cloud Kingdom because you know where he is, and the Zerglings will scout pretty much anything he's up to. With the 11 overpull, that's the kind of like basis of the pool. Is your Zerglings scout, and they also stop any cannon rushes, so you don't actually need to drone scout at all with an 11 overpull. Just for a little bit of advice, anyway.
Okay. One of the things I did do with that drone is I just started knocking away on the forge and got it almost all its shields off.
Yeah.
Before my wings got there.
Okay, that's fine. Again, I'd prefer to knock the pylon, because obviously if the pylon's gone, then nothing works, rather than the forge.
Yeah, I've been trying to take out the forge first, just because he can still build cannons in his
Yeah, that's fine. I
base,
mean,
but
if he builds a cannon, let him. Like, there's so much. Like, right now he's building a cannon because he scouted like what he thinks is probably a 6 pool. Like, you can hold this at the front, absolutely fine if you build a cannon at the front against an 11 pool. But obviously, you know, the cannon in the main mineral line just costs him money and delays his expansion. So, you know, the idea of an 11 overpool isn't to like win the game; it's to deny and be safe, basically.
yeah.
So yeah. So that's good so far. Looking good. Looking pretty standard to me. So he's forced to kind of build everything in his main base, and of course he can't get that Nexus down anytime soon, so it's always nice. Basically, he has to wait until he's got a Zealot out to get that Nexus down. So that's, the 11 pool. The 11 pool's already done its job, as far as you're concerned. Like, it stopped him expanding. It's done a little bit of damage and forced him to do, like, stupid shit like this, where he's blocked his own gas with a cannon. He's blocked, he's denied mining with a cannon. And he's forced into this kind of, really blind spot. So the 11 overpool's already done its job, basically. Like, you can have a little poke with these lings, but don't lose any. Like, just keep them alive, just be annoying with them. But don't just, like, run in and try to kill a probe for no reason at all.
Yeah. My idea was just kind of see if there's anywhere I could attack and deal with the damage, but I realized I couldn't.
No.
But unfortunately, he gets out of Zealot and baits them into the cannons while I was looking elsewhere.
Okay. Well, in that sort of situation, you've seen what's going on. You've seen that he's built 2 cannons. He's, getting his cybernetics core. He's got 1 gate and 2 gas. So, like, just pull your lings back and put them on a watchtower. Like, there is no need for them to be there. They can't do any damage. You're just going to lose them, basically. So just pull them back, keep them alive and just take towers with them. And that's all you need to do with those lings. Like, they've already done their job. They've denied the expansion. They've killed a forge. They've allowed you to get your expansion up nice and safe. Like, their only job now is scouting. That's all they need to do.
Okay.
Okay? Cool. But yeah, that was a pretty well executed 11 pull there. So now you should just be literally droning. I like the ling speed as well. That's a thing I've tended to do against Protoss. Like, a lot of Zerg players will go like 3 bases and no gas, where I like to get this ling speed because it stops them, putting proxy pylons fucking everywhere, which is the most irritating thing in the world. So you get a nice early layer. I like that as well. Getting a roach warren, okay. I don't think you actually need a roach warren. I'd much prefer just a spine or 2 to stop any sentry play. Because a roach warren is actually a lot of minerals. Like, you could put down a 3rd with that instead.
Okay.
But that's up to you. If you want to put down a roach warren and feel that extra little bit safe, then that's fine. But you just got to think that that's delaying my 3rd by 30 or 40 seconds.
Okay. I guess my thought was, since I did deny his natural, I was going to kind of do some 2-base roach play.
Yeah.
Just get some roaches and try to deal a little bit more damage whenever he tries to get his next natural.
Sure. Okay. If we pause the game just for a second.
Okay.
I'm at 824. I don't know where you are, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, because of the 11 overpool, what you've done is you've denied his expansion by about 4 minutes. Okay. And that's going to throw his whole build off. Okay.
Okay.
So what that means is you can either all in him off 2 base and it'll be extra strong, or you can be really eco and go for an even earlier 3rd, because there is no chance he can do any damage to you whatsoever. Like, unless
Okay.
he, like, 4 gates. And because you've got the Overlord there, you can actually see what units he's making, which is sentries, so you know that's not going to happen. So, right now, I'd either all-in him off 2 base, or, go for that super early third rather than the macro hatch.
Okay.
And basically that sets you up to win, like, 100% there in the later game, as long as like there's no massive mistakes. But right now, what you're kind of doing is you're kind of like, oh, I want to play kind of eco, kind of, aggressive. And if you're treading that middle line, it doesn't work as well. Like if you kind of, how to explain it? I can't explain that one. Basically, if you go all aggressive or all economical, it's much better than going some aggressive, some eco.
Okay.
Because obviously, if you put 100% into something, it's going to be better than putting 50% into 2 things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
we'll
this
hit.
time I should have just paused the game, flipped a coin, and decided what I should have done.
Well, it depends really. I mean, you can do that if you want. You can literally like flip a coin and go, I'm going to all in him. You know, when roach speed finishes or something along those lines. Or you can take a super early third because you know he can't be aggressive because you've denied this base for so long, and you know that he's either going to have to all in you or play defensive. And if he all ins you, it wouldn't really matter because it's off 1 base and you have 3 bases and a roach warren, so it's not
Okay.
going to be as effective. So it's a really weird situation because you're really far ahead, and you're like, oh, what do I do? Being really far ahead is exactly the same as being really far behind. It presents the same questions, like, what do I do? How do I win? Like, it's really weird. When you're in a game that's even, you feel like you know what to do and when to do it. When you're in a game where you're like miles ahead or miles behind, it gets really confusing. All you've got to do is just think about it, like, okay, like, for example, if you 6-pull him and you kill every probe but 2, you're miles ahead, and you know that, okay, all I've got to do is attack him, and I'm probably going to win. Yeah?
Hmm.
But if you, in a game like this, where you kill, like, 5 or 6 probes, you deny his expansion, you're miles ahead, but you don't know what to do. And it happens to, like, literally every player. Like, if they're miles ahead or miles behind, they don't know what to do. So basically what you've got to decide is decide exactly what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. Like, right now you've like, okay, I've denied his expansion, I've killed a ton of probes, I'm feeling good, I'm going to get +1 attack on my roaches, get roach speed, and as soon as roach speed's done, I'm going to attack him and win. Okay? You
Okay.
need to make decisions like that. Or, I'm going to go to free base, get a really quick spire, and start massing mutalisks. Okay, you've got to make that decision rather than like treading the middle line.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, you ready to hit play?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. So right now he's like moving out with like 5 sentries and a zealot. That's going to do absolutely nothing against anything. Yeah. And as I said, Cloud Kingdom's an absolute bitch for people, putting pylons everywhere. So again, if you're going to put down a roach warren, make roaches.
I eventually do.
Yeah.
Soon.
Or like spines to be really safe. So again, he's in your base before you've known about it, and that's because you just didn't have the watchtower control that you should have, and that could have come with those lings that you wasted early game.
Hmm.
Like you could have had both watchtowers, and then you could have had 2 spine crawlers and 10 roaches by the time this hit, and you'd be absolutely fine. You would have lost nothing. So you get some lings out. Lings are pretty good against zealots, but unfortunately you do lose like every single one of your drones at this natural. Ugh, God, that's horrible to watch.
I hate
Why are zealots so good? It's not fair. So yeah, you lose a lot here, and that just came from wasting those lings early game and not having tower control, basically.
Okay.
So just remember, like, always, always, always keep the Zelnaga towers watched, because you can see him moving out, and you can, see when he's attacking, so you know when to make units. If you can't take control of the towers, say like he's got like, you know, 10 stalkers on one of these towers, and you just don't want to waste any units, then build spine crawlers, build units. If you can't see what's coming, always build defense. If you're blind, build defense. It's as simple as that, really.
Okay.
Awesome. So right now he's been like delayed so much. He managed to like kind of catch back up with that attack. He's actually ahead in probes at the moment because like you decimated your second base. But again, you're going for like the bit of everything kind of move. You're like treading down the middle line. You've got a Spire, you've got a Roach Warren, you've got like 3 bases. So it's kind of like treading that middle line where everything's less effective. Like for example, instead of getting a Spire, you could have got like +1/+1 for your Roaches. You know, instead of getting the Roach Warren, you could have got just the Spire and, you know, made a lot more Mutalisks, and, you know, these Roaches take up a lot of gas. So, you know, you kind of tread in that middle line again, and it's really hurting your army.
Okay.
Never do this either, like just the kind of 8 Roaches. Because if he has Blink, you lose all 8 Roaches for nothing. If he has Sentries, you're probably going to lose all 8 Roaches again. So just bear in mind that, you know, you don't want to do little skirmishes like that because you'll just end up losing all your units.
Okay.
Okay. So, you scouted he's got an expansion anyway, so that's good. You scouted he's got a couple of gates and a forge on the way.
And he has just a lot of stalkers, so he's doing a big, massive stalker.
Yeah, it would be a Blink Stalker kind of +1 or something along those lines. So basically you should be aware that there's a lot of stalkers coming right now, and you're building spines, that's good. But again, I'd love you to take this Zelnaga Watchtower just in front of his base.
Yeah, I did get it, but he came in with all those stalkers and killed those 2 lings.
Yeah. Okay,
So
well just send them back again. Easy as that.
Okay.
So you scout Mouse Stalker with +1 and you make Mutalisks. Now don't get me wrong, Mutalisks are really good against Stalkers, but you need a massive number and better upgrades.
Okay.
Okay, so if you scout Stalkers, like just pure Stalker, go Hydralisks. Hydralisks are devastatingly good against Stalkers. Like seriously, seriously good. Against like a Stalker Immortal army, if you go like heavy Hydra, like you go kind of 30% Roaches, like 70% Hydras, it will just melt a Protoss army. Completely melt it. So the Mutalisks are going out, that's good. You never want Mutalisks sitting about. That's the whole strength of a Mutalisk, because their mobility, so never have them just sitting about doing nothing. Spine Crawlers. Drone count's a little bit low, but I think that's just because you got messed with, that you feel a bit kind of unsafe. Let's see. Okay. So Mutalisks are coming in. Good. So good. Sniper cannon. Snipe the next cannon. Yeah. And you should just retreat now. The stalkers are there. You should just pull back. Yeah. Be aware of the map as well. Like for example, you just wasted like 3 or 4 Mutalisks there. So just be aware, like the path you've got to come back on. Like I wouldn't ever take this left edge because stalkers can blink and kill you. I'd prefer to take the right edge. So just make sure like your Mutalisks are positioned so you can come out of this right edge rather than the left one. Okay. Just because of, you know, the way the map is. So just kind of be aware of little things like that as well, just to, you know, keep these Mutalisks alive. Because, you know, they're extremely expensive and extremely good in numbers. But little like skirmishes like that with like 8 or 9 mutas are just going to end up in you losing. Okay. So you take a third. Again, like if you had this Zelnaga Watchtower right now, you'd feel a lot safer droning. So you could drone like that little bit harder and get that little bit more of a lead.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I think my thoughts was I was going to drone and get this entire base, but I got supply blocked.
Okay. Again, that's just like, that comes with practice. Like I can't teach you not to get supply blocked. But again, you know, it just comes with, that sort of thing just comes with playing the game a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some good, like, cues when I should build overlords. Like,
Okay, do you want to just pause a second? We'll touch on that subject.
Like my thought is like I should probably build an overlord, like one overlord per hatchery every time I I spawn a larva that's not the inject. If that makes sense.
Yeah, basically, like a really kind of, I wouldn't say like perfect method, but a really good method for learning is, right, every hatchery that you inject lava, so basically you've got four hatcheries right now, you should probably build 4 overlords per production cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're building supply heavy units. For example, a roach is extremely like cheap, like it's 75-25, but they take up a lot of supply. So for example, if you're like going mass roach off 4 hatcheries, you should probably build 8 overlords per production cycle. Of course, you can alter that, like as you go like further into the game, like you can only build like 3 or 4 overlords. If you're switching to like infestor or you're already max supply, you don't need to build overlords. But if you're building supply heavy units off of you know, a lot of hatcheries, and make sure you overbuild overlords basically, because the power of you know, a roach push is the fact that you can max out on roaches at 13 minutes. You know, you can have 200 roaches at 13 minutes. As long as you don't get supply blocked. But every time you get supply blocked, that 13 minutes becomes, you know, 13 and a half minutes, 14 minutes, 14 and a half minutes, 15 minutes. You know, as soon it becomes like, okay, you got 200 supply of a shit unit at 19 minutes into the game. You know, they're just not good that, you know, that late in the game.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, if you're going supply heavy units, 2 overlords per hatch. If you're just building like lings or mutas, because they're so expensive, they're not actually that supply heavy. If you're building like lings or mutas, then you just need 1 overlord per hatch per lava cycle. What I do is build the overlords first. So like, you know, you inject, wait 30 seconds, and then you know, 4 overlords, and then your units. Okay, that'll always keep you ahead of your supply then.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So you just got to bear in mind like what you're building, and then just kind of adjust your overlord production to that.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. 3, 2, 1, and go. It'll help you keep your money nice and low as well, which is always nice. So he's building Colossus. I like to send an overseer in like every couple of minutes just to see what their army's building. Like, for example, if you scout a Colossus at 12 minutes, you can throw down a Spire if you haven't already got one. And, you know, and you can build Corruptors by the time he pushes out. And obviously, you know, Corruptors are really, really good against Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
So you're building a nice little meter death ball here. I like it. I like it a lot. So 24 meters. It's good. But unfortunately, your meters don't have upgrades. Unupgraded meters aren't very good. Like, so if you're going like mass meter like this, make sure you've always got an upgrade researching. Even if it means getting like 2 spires so you can double upgrade if you fall behind, like do it. Like it's so worth it.
Okay.
So he's got 16 stalkers. Okay.
And I was thinking about engaging, but I saw he had a lot of stalkers, so I just backed out.
Well, basically, if these mutalisks, there's 24 mutalisks here, if they were +1/+1, or even like +2/+1, you can actually take on an even number of stalkers compared to your mutalisks. Like, it's actually insane. Like, mutalisks actually beat stalkers quite easily. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they do in number and in upgrades. Like, really easily. That's why you see the pros like go, you know, Storms or Archons to beat Mutalisks, because pure Stalker will not beat Mutalisk. In decent number, of course. I'm not talking about like 10 versus 10. I'm talking about like 30 versus like 30. You know, your Mutalisk will win.
Okay.
Okay. So he's scouted your Mutalisk now, and he's going into High Templar, which makes good sense. So you should be thinking about really abusing that Muter's mobility until they get countered. So right now, like, he's scouted your Mutalisks, you should be aware that he's going to react to them. So you should now be like killing probes, killing pylons, picking off tech with those mutas, because they will very soon become like quite, you know, quite useless. Because as soon as he gets Templar and gets Storms, mutas not so good. So you should be like aware that he's going to try and counter your Mutalisk. So you should be using them as much as possible.
Okay.
Okay. So he's built up like a nice big 2-base death ball. And you really don't have a lot right now. So
yeah,
you
right
might
now,
have enough.
Right now I'm getting a Greater Spire, and my thought is to get Broodlord so I can take on this army, but he just comes a little too soon.
Yeah. Okay, well again, that could have been... there's several ways you can do that. It's a little bit more complicated than what you're kind of used to. So I'll try and explain it after this fight anyway, but the fight goes like in his favor, obviously. You know, Protoss, better upgrades, and you've got like the wrong units, basically. So yeah, the fight goes in his favor, and you leave the game now. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got another minute yet. Sorry, I've misread the time. So yeah, Roaches versus Stalker Immortal, not good.
But yeah, I eventually lose. I was thinking I could get a lot of Broodlords.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't work.
Okay. Have you got the stream on again? I can hear myself.
What was it?
I can hear myself. Have you got the stream on?
I shouldn't.
Maybe it's just Skype or something. Right. So, oh, that's really distracting. Right. So basically, if you're trying to go Broodlords, and you haven't got like, say you've got like 200 supply of like Roach Hydra Corruptor, okay? That means you can fend off pretty much anything he's going to throw at you to a certain extent. And then you can like slowly tech the Broodlords. What you try to do is you try to like, you know, make 15 Corruptors and then 15 Broodlords straight away. And unfortunately he attacked you just as that was kind of happening. And the reason like you can't do that is because you had, well, one, no creep spread. Creep spread helps greatly with Broodlord production because obviously, you know, you can see everything that's coming. And another reason is you can build like, if you look at like the main ramp here, just leading into kind of the center of the map from your natural. If you had creep all along here and you had like 20 spine crawlers, you know, that delays him long enough for you to get these Broodlords and push him back. Okay, but because you had neither, like you didn't have a big army, and you didn't have the spine crawlers or the creep spread, it just means that he can just literally walk up and kill your Broodlords, or walk up and kill your Corruptors, basically. So that's like one like little mistake that you're making. Another thing is like your upgrades, you've got none. You know, you haven't got any air upgrades. You know, you're going for mass Mutalisks and you haven't got air upgrades. That's just going to end badly. You know, you've got... I'm not sure if anything's coming up here. I'm not sure if that's because the game's ended or what, but give me a second. Yeah, you haven't got... You know, you've got an Infestation Pit to go Hive, but Broodlords need Infestor support to work, and you haven't got the energy for Infestors. You know, you've got Roach Speed, which is good, but, you know, fast Roaches with no upgrades are just going to die faster. You've got, you know, no air upgrades, no spine crawlers, just everything that's going to, like, lose you this game, basically.
Okay.
I mean, if you had, like, better upgrades on your Mutalisks, you could have probably engaged a lot earlier and, like, killed half his army before it's, you know, even got to this point. And then you could have made Broodlords. But unfortunately, like, because you've done like little to no damage with your Mutalisks, it just means his push is on time and is exactly as strong as it should be. say at that point in the game where you had 25 Mutalisks kind of outside his base, and he had like, I think it was about 16 Stalkers. If those Mutalisks were upgraded, they could take out those 16 Stalkers. And then his push is 16 Stalkers weaker. Now, if you look at this army that's in your base, take away 16 Stalkers, he's got about 8 left. For that, argument's sake there. He's got like 8 left if you'd have took out early. And also it means you have Broodlords because his push is later. And then you win.
Okay.
Yeah? So you've got to be aware of what you're aiming for. If you're aiming to go like mass Broodlord, then make sure you are perfectly 100% safe and he can't move out of his base as you're getting Broodlords. The way you do that is either map control with spine crawlers, creep to kind of like, slow his push down, or the threat of Mutalisk like completely gutting everything he's got if he moves out. Those are the 3 ways that you get to that Broodlord army. You can't just make Broodlords, because it just won't work, because Broodlords are incredibly fucking slow for one. They're expensive, and they take just so long to get. Like, ridiculously long time. Like, you've got to make Corruptors, and then you've got to morph them to Broodlords, and then you've got to get the Broodlords in position. They're you need to delay the Protoss from like getting to you as you make Broodlords. Like, you should be doing something so you can get Broodlords rather than just getting Broodlords. So, for example, like, it's like, okay, I've got my Great Aspire, I want Broodlords. So how do I buy myself that 3 minutes to get Broodlords? You have like a lot of options. You can do Ling Run buys to like keep him at his base. You can build a shit ton of spine crawlers so he can't push you. You can, show him muters so he's afraid to move out, without leaving 10 or 12 stalkers behind. Or you can just generally attack him with like roach armies. If you attack him and you take out like all of his Colossus with like a roach army, he is not going to push without making more Colossus, and that buys you those 3 minutes you need. It may not seem like a lot, like, oh, it's only 3 minutes, I can just kind of bluff my way through it, just hope he doesn't attack in those 3 minutes. But what if he does? You lose. It's not worth risking for the sake of, having Mutalisks, roaming about his base, having Lings, ready to attack into him when he moves out, or even just, making a ton of roaches to, hold him back for that little bit of time you need. And then you would have got these Broodlords out, and then the Broodlords would have pushed him back, and you would have eventually won the game from it. Assuming all goes well.
Okay.
Okay, so awesome. Right. One more game, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go into that game. And what game do we have? We have a ZVP on Cloud Kingdom. Again, number 3?
Yeah, I guess. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Cool. So we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1, go. Again, I assume you're going to go for like the kind of 11 overpool.
Yes.
Oh, is it the same guy?
No.
Oh.
This is different. Right before this game, I played him and I 6-spooled him, and it didn't work.
Oh dear. That's demoralizing, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm playing this guy again, so I'm like, okay, I can't do the same thing. Because recently I'm trying to improve my micro a little bit, and I figure a good way to do that is doing like these kind of cheesy strats where I have to manage a small base and then a small set of units.
Yeah.
That's my theory, anyways.
Okay.
Can I?
Well, it's always good knowing a few little cheesy strats every now and again. Not only does it practice micro, but if you play the same guy like 3 or 4 times in a row, like you would in a tournament, it's always good to kind of throw something like that at them, like keep them on their toes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good knowing, but I wouldn't like just go at the ladder and just do cheese all day. Like it will just get boring for one, and you won't learn much. Like you might learn how to save like 2 or 3 lings in a battle, but that's about it.
Oh, I definitely agree. I might, I might try to do a cheesy strat. Like if I play 10 games, might do it once or twice, just kind of, something different.
Yeah, that's fine. What I recommend doing with the overpool is what you do is you get the Overlord first. Like, so you go 11 supply, then you get the Overlord, then you get the spawning pool. You drone to 14, and then just as your pool pops, you have free lava. And it's pretty much the same timing as what you're doing now.
Okay.
So it's just like a slight alteration. So get the Overlord first, and then the spawning pool. Drone to 14, and then you have free lava ready to make into lings to kind of push him.
Okay.
It's just a little bit smoother.
All right.
So, okay. So you've made him quite paranoid since he's like built a cannon first, not his nexus. So that's good. You're expanding, good. Again, just go out and claim these watchtowers. Like, he can see your lings coming now, and he knows you've only got 4, so he's like not worried at all, basically. Watch the Overlord as well. That's bad.
Yeah.
Don't lose that Overlord. Don't lose that Overlord. Okay, you save it. Good.
Yeah.
Basically, these lings now are far too late to do anything. So, again, just put them on watchtowers. Like, there's nothing else these lings can do right now, except, scout. So just put them on watchtowers.
Throw them on the watchtower, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And the ling outside his ramp as well, that's really good. Awesome. So you're getting gas. Against a Forge Fast Expand, I recommend getting a third base, like, fairly quickly. Like, before... if you go 11 pool, 18 hatch, you need a base on 6 minutes. Pretty much exactly. That's just the way, like, the Zerg economy, like, matches up properly. So just remember that timing. Basically, if you go for the 11 pool, get a third base on 6 minutes.
Okay.
So just droning really hard. I like it. Just got a probe over here. You've got the watchtowers, good. You've got a ling outside his ramp, good. And then just droning really hard. Like, right now in the game, I bet you felt, like, really, really safe, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, you can see everything that's going on. You can see if he's making, a zealots to come rush you. You've got tons and tons of time to do whatever you want to do. And all you can do now is just drone. Like, you don't need the spine crawler. And you don't really need the roach warren. What I would recommend is getting an evolution chamber, just in case he's like DT rushing you off 2 base, or if he's like Stargate rushing you off 2 base.
Okay.
That's what I'd recommend anyway. But again, like, if you don't see it a lot, then you don't know how to play against it. So if you don't see DT rushes a lot, you don't know how to play against them. I see 2 racks builds like every single game, and I can pretty much hold them off 100% now because I've had them done to me 20, 30 times in the past week. So, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
So again, like, this ling is slowly making its way through these rocks.
I figure, watch the ramp and might as well do something useful.
Yeah. See, you need a third base by now. Like, because what you'll notice is your money will start to get high, your gas will start to get high, and your lava count will be really low because you haven't got this third base. Okay, there's absolutely nothing stopping you from taking a fast third base because, as I've said, you've got a ling here, you've got watchtowers, you've got watchtower, and you've got a massive drone lead. There's no reason for you not to take a third base right now. You're 100% safe, so take a third base and drone. Like, you don't need units. Why would you need units? You can, you've got 60 seconds to react to him sending anything at you. And that's more than enough time. So yeah, just build drones, build bases, build skip units.
Yeah, I guess my play style that I've been doing kind of nowadays is once I have a base that is pretty much fully saturated, I build another one.
Yeah, okay, that works for most situations, but against a Forge fast expanding Protoss, it doesn't. Like, right now, you're pretty much even on probe count, and because his army is so much more cost effective than yours, If he pushes you, it's gonna, really, really hurt you. It might not end the game, but it might do enough damage to end the game.
Okay.
Because, basically, a sentry can wall off your ramp, and then zealots can just completely obliterate your lings. But if you have, a third base ready, it just means that you have, 8 extra lava if he pushes. You have, more income. You just have so much more stuff than you would do off 2 base.
Okay.
Okay. So right now he's going for a 6-gate blink +1. Never even seen that before. Not this late anyway. Especially zealot heavy. Okay, so he's moving out. You see he's moving out of a couple of zealots. I wouldn't be too worried about that. I just put your lings somewhere where they can actually see if he's definitely moving out or not. Like you're doing here. Those 2 lings, just keeping an eye, make sure he's not going anywhere stupid.
Yeah, I saw them come in. I figured I might as well save the
Yeah.
lings, throw them next to the watchtower to see if he moves away, then I can retake it.
Yeah.
And then he,
But again, I just go, build a bunch of lings or whatever you're going to do and just retake those watchtowers.
Okay.
Just always keep them, because right now you're in the dark again, and you're forced to build units, you're forced to, stay defensive, you're forced to not expand, because he has complete map control. There is no way you should be expanding right now, because he could be warping a pylon, right next to your base and just warp in a ton of units and kill you.
Okay. I think I started the hatch whenever I did have the
the
watchtower.
Yeah, that's fine. I just mean if you were to go expand right this second, it'd be really dangerous. So
yeah.
Again, your muters fly over. That's good. You never want to engage a direct army of muters unless you have a lot of them and a lot of support as well. So your muters fly in, and I hope they get a ton of probe kills.
Yeah.
Okay, they
Here
get a
I
couple.
kind of figure, since he's moving out of his army, I can probably
Yep.
put more of the defense by attacking everything.
Yep, exactly the right thing to do. Okay. You probably could have engaged there, to be honest. It's 5 stalkers. No. Sorry, I'm just watching your muters nearly fly into a full set of stalkers there. That's not good.
I think I ran away because I noticed he had his big stalker army, and I figured that was it.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So
fine. I
that's
mean,
why
but
I ran away.
if you can take the time to pick off 3 or 4 stalkers and then carry on hitting probes, it really messes with the Protoss. So again, look, you've got an unsaturated third here, and I don't think you've got enough units here. I might be wrong. Oh no, okay, you do. Yeah, okay. That's cool.
So I engage with the lings, and I send back the mutas.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, when lings are fighting, be more than happy to engage with mutas, because Stalker's AI actually focuses melee units rather than air units.
Okay.
So if you've got lings supporting, the Stalkers will fire on lings, and Stalkers take forever to kill lings. So your mutas just clean up everything.
Does that also include Marines?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay. That actually is really, really helpful.
Yeah. Not many people know that, surprisingly. But yeah, Stalkers will, most units, to be honest, will, apart from 4s, will focus the melee units rather than the air units. Apart from 4s, 4s naturally attack air units over ground units.
Yeah, okay.
Again, I wouldn't engage with mutas anywhere you don't have a number advantage. Absolutely anywhere. Again, you've got the watchtowers now, yeah? You feel nice and safe, you've got mutas floating about, so you drone up. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, and I have 13 on the way.
Exactly. I mean, that's perfect. So you should just keep droning now, which you're doing. Absolutely perfect. It's exactly what you need to do. You've just killed his army, you've got map control, and you've got mutas fucking everywhere. Drone up, expand, tech up, whatever you want to do right now. You can literally do anything you want when you're in this situation. And that's how you win games as Zerg.
Okay.
Good. Liking it. Loving it. So right now you're 66 drones to 44 probes, so you're madly in the lead right now. you've got a good army coming. I'd carry on adding meters and adding on upgrades as well, just for the sheer fact that, you know, if you build up a big meter ball, like barely anything can stop it, apart from like, you know, mass High Templar, Archon, Stalker, or something silly like that. But if you've got a high enough meter count, then you can pretty much kill any army he throws at you.
Okay.
So right now your meters are just kind of sitting there. You never want meters idle. Okay?
Yeah, I noticed that he had a bunch of stalkers right there. I assumed they were still there.
Yeah. Even if you have stalkers, like if you notice there's stalkers on the right hand side of the base, just come in, pick off this pylon. Come in, pick off that pylon. Come in, pick off a robo facility. You know, his stalkers are slow compared to your meterlisks. So, like, don't just target probes with meterlists. Like, meters can be used to pick off pylons. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's 100 minerals, and it puts the Protoss on edge. That's the key. Like, you've got to make sure they're afraid to move out. Again, he's picking off, like, 1 or 2 meters here. That's just, like, really silly positioning. So they fly away. Okay, what I'd do is I'd fly into the main and just pick shit off. Like, Stalkers are ground units. They have blink, but they're still slow. Compared to, you know, Mutalisks being air units and the way, like, you know, his base is and everything, Mutalisks are a lot faster. So, you know, just use the threat of Mutalisks to mess him up. Even if they only kill, like, 3 or 4 probes, but they pick off, like, 8 pylons or something like that, it's a lot of shit, you know, and it just works. It just works so well. So right now, if we just pause the game a second.
All right.
Okay, so if you look at this right now, you've got the watchtower, okay? You've got the other watchtower. You've got a third base. You probably should have like a 4th and 5th by now, but you know that's not important. Okay.
Okay.
You've got enough mutalisks to keep him kind of in his base. Now's the time you go for broodlords.
Okay.
You understand? Like you've got a massive army. You've got a good advantage. You've delayed his third. You know you've got complete map control. You know you've forced him to stay in his base. That gives you the time to get broodlords. That gives you the time to get infestors. That gives you the time to get a 5th and 6th base. So if those broodlords die, you can just remake them. It doesn't even matter. Okay? So when you're in this sort of position, just think to yourself, like, you know, this army doesn't have to kill him. This army only has to give you 3 minutes so you can get to broodlords, basically.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So we'll unpause in 3, 2, 1, go. So just waiting for these extra meters lists to come in, which is good. Again, like you're slacking on meter list upgrades, but you know that's just something that you can fix yourself. Basically, like there's no kind of I can, you know, tell you like to hotkey your Evo chambers so you can always see if it's upgrading. Again, like brilliant. Like the Lings distract and the meters just kill every fucking probe. Like, that's what I like to see. Like, look at that meter flock. Like, seriously, that's 30 meters, basically. 30 meters. What I do, instead of, like, pulling them back to your base, what I would do is just go pick off Colossus. Go pick off Stalkers. You know, you can do pretty much anything you want with this kind of army. Again, look, really good. Colossus down, yeah? And now the Stalkers are forced to engage your Lings rather than Mutalisks. So again, you should have fought with those Mutalisks there, and you'd have cleared up his army.
Okay.
Okay? So just knowing where to pick fights. So again, like this fight you will win, like quite easily, but with Ling support, you'd have barely lost a Mutalisk.
Okay.
So try to engage with Mutalisk when you've got Ling support rather than when you don't. So again, like the Roach switch is like really clever, but I prefer to start teching to Broodlords instead of like getting Roaches out.
Okay.
Because a clever Protoss will now switch into like High Templar Archon, and Roaches just kind of own that like really hard.
Yeah, I think I was going to go into Broodlords. I did get the Hive. But
Yeah, I can see the Hive, I can see the Corruptors. Again, like this is a questionable engagement because of the Colossus and because of the Stalker count. But it's not bad. I mean, you lose quite a few Mutalisks, but again, you know, he loses a Colossus and a bunch of Stalkers, which are more valuable than Mutalisks. So again, I'd be taking like a 4th or 5th. I'd be taking to Brood Lords. You know, I'd feel really, really comfortable right now. Because you've
Okay.
killed off so many armies. You've killed off so many probes. Like, if you just look at the count, he's got 30 probes, and that's just because he's, you know, been making them. He literally has nothing else to throw at you.
Yeah.
But
Then
this...
eventually,
Yeah, he GG's. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a pretty solid win. But it could have been, like, made a lot better. One, like, when you took complete map control, you killed his army. You know, you had a ton of meters. Don't be afraid to take a 4th. Don't be afraid to take a 5th. Don't be afraid to take a 6th. Fuck it, take 7 or 8 bases if you want. Like, you've got the whole map. He's got no army. You know, he's got nothing he can do to hurt you right now. And if he does come out, then you just gut him with Mutalisks. You know, and then you tech to Broodlords behind it. And then once that, you know, once you've got like 15 Broodlords and 20 Corruptors and a bunch of Infestors, he has nothing because, you know, you've killed probes, you've killed pylons, you've killed his army. There is literally nothing he can do to win. Like, this win could have been a lot more solid than it was. Like, it kind of felt scrappy to me. Like, it felt like, you know, you engaged all right. You know, you had decent upgrades, you know, you had decent map control, but it could have been one of those victories where it's like, am I playing a Bronze League player? You know, you get them every now and again, and it makes you feel really good when you get that score screen and they're like Masters or, you know, Grandmasters or whatever. It's like, wow, he felt like a Bronze player. And that's just because, you know, you do 3 or 4 things like really, really well in a game. And that's what causes your win. Like, this win was a good win. Like, you done some really good stuff. Like, you remembered upgrades. You know, you done a lot of damage with the Mutalisks. You engaged well. You got the 3rd base. It was kind of late, but you got it. So, you know, it was a really, really good win, but it could have been that little bit better. And once you start realizing that these wins can be better, you'll win more easily, and then you'll start beating better players, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, is there anything...
in the Diamond League.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is there anything you want to kind of, you know, ask me, or do you want me to run through anything extra? Just while we got a little bit more time?
No, I think you pretty much highlighted everything I needed to work on and
Yeah.
gave me some tips. I think one of the issues I'm having is being supply blocked.
Okay.
Because in the past I'll just like, you know, I'll get the larva inject and then I'll make a ton of units, and then my thought is, oh, I'll make overlords during the spare time whenever the larva pops.
Yeah.
But the whole making overlords and then making the units, I think, will help me a lot.
Yeah, it would just get you into that nice little pattern of kind of like, just as you're about to make units, you'll glance at your supply. Like, it will just get you into that habit. And then once you do that, it's kind of like, okay, you'll literally, like, it just becomes second nature, where you kind of go, right, I've got 4 hatcheries, you know, all the lava's just popped. That means I've got, top of my head, 14, 28 lava. Ready to make into stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then this will all happen in a split second. You go, right, I've got 28 lava. I've got, you know, I'm like 90 over 150. You're like, okay, I can make pure roach and then overlords to not get supply blocked next time I make pure roach. So it would just cause you to kind of like glance at your supply that split second before you make units. And you'll realize that you start getting supply blocked a lot less. You start getting, you know, just everything flows that little bit better.
Okay.
Okay. Just an extra goal for you that will really help you play, if you just want to note this down somewhere. Just one quick extra goal. Keep the Zelnaga towers. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I've done pretty well with the goals you gave me.
Yeah.
A week ago. I just need to keep the Zelnaga watchtowers, because a lot of what you're saying, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, if you've got these Zelnaga towers, it means you're not afraid to take a 3rd. You're not afraid to tech up. You're not afraid to drone. If you haven't got the Zelnaga towers, if you drone and he pushes, you lose. You know, more than likely you lose, because you have no units and a ton of drones, and drones don't do well. I mean, how many situations have you come across where it's just like, you've just made like 20 drones for your third base, and then he pushes in and wins. Like
Quite a few.
yeah, exactly. Because you don't know when to drone and you don't know when to make units because you're in the dark. And 90% of Zerg will tell you that if you know it's coming, you can stop it. The other 10% will say like, oh, you just make units, and that's wrong. But if you know it's coming, you can stop it 100%. Like, if you know he's pushing out with pure Marines, then you make a ton of Zerglings and you make a ton of Banelings and you win. If you're versing a Protoss and he pushes out with, a massive Stalker army, instead of like making 20 drones, you can make 20 Hydras or 20 Roaches or 40 Zerglings. Something that will keep you alive rather than the drones. So it's just about knowing when it's coming and what's coming, and that will just, as soon as you take those Zone Arga towers, that will come like really, really naturally for you.
Okay.
Awesome. Anything else just before we finish up?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, I want to see like 3 or 4 games where you're, keeping those Zone Arga towers like all the game, basically. And then you'll see how much easier the game becomes when you know what's coming.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed today.
Yes, and thank you.
No problem. All right, I'll catch you later.
Bye.
Cheers, buddy. Bye. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the session today. My name is Butt Me Up. It's across the top right there. If you'd like some coaching, you can contact me on Twitter, which is at scbuttmeup. It's on screen. Or you can contact my email, which is scbuttmeup@gmail.com. You can also contact me through Team Liquid, which I think is ButterMeUpSC. It's a slight pattern here. And you can also like and favorite my videos on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitch to see when I go live. You can favorite me on Team Liquid. You can follow me on Twitter. And you can just generally love me, because it's a good thing. It's a good thing, I promise you. Okay, guys, I really hope you enjoyed today. The video will be up on YouTube very, very soon. And the VOD will be up on Twitch like in the next 2 minutes or whenever it does it. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you need coaching, I've got a very free schedule since I'm new to coaching. I have had about 50 to 60 hours experience, I think, over the past 2 or 3 months. So I'm getting there. I'm a Masters League Zerg. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. Please like, favorite, upvote, whatever you want to do to get me out there, because it really, really helps. The more coaching lessons I get, the more I can get into Starcraft, and that is my dream, to be able to make money off this game and live a life that I'm comfortable with, playing a game I love. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. It makes a massive difference. Yeah, thank you very much, and catch you guys later. Bye bye.